Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News, February 19th, 2024. Stand up for your country. I almost forgot, stand up for your country. You know, we're living in a time of deception, both personal and national deception. And it pains me. I'm a truth teller. I think you know that. You wouldn't be here if you didn't believe that, because this is a discretionary thing. Watching the No Spin News, going to BillO'Reilly.com. You got plenty of the choices, and we know that. But to me, I gotta shoot straight. Okay, I gotta talk straight. I gotta back it up, and I do. But I see all around me people getting hurt in policy and personally because of lies and deception. And the truth is getting harder and harder to ascertain because the media, whose job is to present the truth, is corrupt, and you don't get it. And you all know that. How many examples do we have to give? So one of the reasons that corruption is prospering is because there is no watchdog anymore over people who are misleading you. In fact, the media, corporate media, is in the forefront of the deception. So it's like the founding fathers said, okay, freedom of press, because we want the folks to get honest information. Well, that's gone in most cases. Kansas City, Missouri, is a great example of this. And that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So you'll remember that last Wednesday, Valentine's Day, at the Super Bowl parade in Kansas City, we had 22 people injured, 1 killed by gunfire. Almost immediately, the gunmen were taken into custody. 2 have been charged. They are minors, okay? They're in a Jackson County family court system, and they have been charged, all right? Now, there are others that are being looked at. But we don't know anything about these people. Okay? 5 days after they were taken into custody, we know nothing about them. The Kansas City authorities are hiding behind the minor thing. But we don't need their names or their faces. We just need to know why they shot the place up. Some background, okay? Forget it. We're not getting it. And so, speculation from the media is running wild. I'm going to walk you through this. Remember, this is 5 days after this shooting. This is what the LA Times says in an editorial. Republicans double down on street crime, criticize Democrats as supposedly being too soft on the shooters. But all gun violence, even now, as homicide rates plummet, inflicts terror. The foreign agents and domestic white supremacists who want to destroy the United States are achieving their goal. Or rather, American gun policy and Americans with guns are achieving it for them. Unquote. How irresponsible is that? Injecting white supremacists into this latest case when there's nothing at all to indicate any ideology in the case. Nothing. Now, the LA Times is going out of business. And the reason is it is so radical left that even the liberal LA people can't stand it anymore. When you go to extremes, moderate people, clear-thinking people go, no. That's why it's going out of business. White supremacists? Now, the governor of Missouri, Mike Parson, said last week that the shooting happened and some thugs, his word, ruined the parade. Well, that did not sit with the mayor of Kansas City Quentin Lucas. Roll it.
I disagree strongly with how he would describe that situation. I certainly do think this was criminal activity. It was lawlessness, and I think that that's troubling. But thugs is a dog whistle in the most classic sense, and I have seen this dog whistle time and again. There's this kind of giant conservative theory on social media now that the reason that mugshots haven't been shown is because the purported defendants are black, and if it were a white defendant, we would have just shown them. That is absolutely preposterous. There are protections to juveniles.
Okay, but we don't need to see the mugshots. What we need is the Kansas City Police to define why the alleged murderers did what they did. Why are you charging them? Who are they? Are they gang members? I suspect they are. Are they minorities? I suspect they are. Because if they were white, even though the mayor says, oh no, you bet. Okay? And, you know, very few people will say that because you're racist if you say that. But most of the drug gangs committing most of the homicides with guns are minorities. Fact. So conservative and Coulter address this. Go.
We don't know who did this shooting, by the way, the Super Bowl shooting.
We have some idea.
What?
If it were a white man shooting, we'd know.
Well, we don't know. But they haven't.
That's how we know it's not a white man. I can tell you that much.
But you think they're repressing that reporting?
They wouldn't tell us about the transgender woman that shot up the Christian school for what, like a year? San Bernardino out here. Remember the crazy terrorist Muslims? That's when I first noticed, they're not telling us who it is. It's not a white male. The longer they go without telling you, it's not a white male.
Okay. Her opinion, but it's not a wrong opinion. So, there is no excuse for the police and the city of Kansas City not to tell the people what happened here. Again, you don't have to give the names of the minor. You don't have to show their mugshots. What happened? This is being censored. We'll follow it. Okay. Another Kansas City thing. Remember when they watching the Super Bowl, these guys, 3 of them died and were frozen in the backyard of some guy's house. The guy's house is Jordan Willis. Okay, he's alive. His 3 friends, David Harrington, Clayton McGeeney, and Ricky Johnson, are dead. All right? Well, how did they die? Well, the authorities don't really want to tell us how they died. However, there has been autopsies, and apparently they had drugs in their blood system, including fentanyl. Now, they weren't out in the backyard when they were taking the drugs. They were in the house. Somebody moved them in the backyard. Well, nobody's been charged. Mr. Willis is in drug rehab. What's this all about? We don't know. Won't tell us anything. Why are they censoring this? Because if they aggressively pursue this, they'd have to arrest the drug dealer who sold them the fentanyl. There's no arrests. Okay? This happened. Do I have a date on this? No, I don't have a date on it. I should have a date on it, but I don't. So it's what? The Super Bowl was February 4th, something like that. They don't want to, the cops, they don't want to do it. They don't want to investigate drug deaths because it's too hard. They have to find a drug dealer. They have to do this. They have to do that. They don't want to do it. So they just leave it there. This is happening more and more and more and more. And there's no minority presence here. These are all white guys. There's no minorities in here. But I want to know who sold them the drugs. Don't you? Who's the dope dealer that sold them the fentanyl, killed 3 people? Shouldn't the cops want to know that? Shouldn't they be asking for our help to identify that drug dealer? Yeah. No. Tamp it down, tamp it down, tamp it down. This is corruption. Really makes me angry. So we're going to follow both of these things. But it's happening everywhere. Everywhere. You get minority drug gangs involved in crime, media's not going to report it. And we have given you the stats time and time and time again. Last week we did a whole segment on it. Overwhelmingly, the gun crimes in this country are committed by minorities, not white supremacists. That's the memo. Let me tell you a story about a guy named Leo Grillo. Leo was on a road trip, came across a Doberman. His dog was severely underweight, clearly in trouble. Leo rescued that Doberman and named him Delta. And this inspired Leo to start Delta Rescue, the largest no-kill, care-for-life animal sanctuary in the world. They have rescued thousands of dogs, cats, and horses. Do you know what Leo's mission is? Dedication and everlasting love to the animals. That will be Leo's legacy. Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions from people like you and me. Speak with your estate planner because there are tax-saving estate planning benefits. You can grow your estate while letting your love for animals live well into the future, leaving a legacy for those animals who need it the most. So please visit deltarescue.org today to learn more. Okay, let us go to the mail. Jim Thompson, Loveland, Colorado. Bill just read your new column that asks if Trump can win the election. Hard to imagine President Trump choosing his battles more carefully because he wants revenge. You're correct, people will vote for Biden to keep Trump out of the White House. You know, I fear that. I wish Trump would pivot into being more of a statesman, but I understand that he's got to stand up for himself. But he got to bring in his policy successes during his 4 years to a much more visible degree if he wants to win the election. Linda Rudd, Juneau, Alaska. Since there are no victims in the New York state civil case, who gets the $350 million? The state of New York gets it. To pay it right into the Treasury. Larry LeDuc, Frankfurt, Michigan. Bill, forget about asylum. What are the existing laws dealing with crossing the border illegally? Nobody ever talks about the laws already on the books. I know this is a right-wing thing about enforce the laws on the books, but it's chaos. There are a million different laws in a million different circumstances. And now there's really only one law that matters. Every single migrant that crosses asks for asylum because they know as soon as they do that, they'll be released into the country. But the whole immigration across the border, southern and northern, because now we reports today that they're coming in from Canada too, has to be revamped. Whole thing. Okay? If you don't, got to continue to have this. John McGrate, Lynn Haven, Florida. Why doesn't our government freeze George Soros's money in the U.S. so he can't help liberal DAs destroy America? Because that would be illegal. You can't just freeze somebody's money. Come on, this isn't Putin here. I get mail like that all the time. Oh, they arrest George Soros. On what? He's got 10 lawyers. Okay, we just say you can do this, you can't do that. This is the way you do it. This is how you get around it. Don't freeze. Steve Young, Johnston, Iowa. No doubt Biden has made inflation worse, but Trump would have had much higher inflation in his second term due to post-COVID economic conditions. Not necessarily. Trump got out of office 1.6% inflation, and he was already 2 years into COVID. And I don't think Trump would have gotten behind all of those giant $1 trillion spending bills that Biden did. He might have done some of it. Remember, most of the COVID money for Trump went to the pharmaceuticals to develop the vaccines. So I didn't see it. And you would have seen more of it, by the way, in 2020, January. If Trump ignited inflation, you would have seen a higher rate than 1.6. Tim Blackburn, Niagara Falls, New York. Appreciate your sentiment on not wanting to live to 100 years old. I'm almost 70. Very aware of my mortality. I engage my elderly peers in active discussions, and some want to live forever. I found that people who have faith are the ones that don't want to live to 100. Well, I think there's something to that. So if you believe that there is a better place and you're a good person, then you're not as nervous that if you're Hitler. Okay? And you're going down. People who have no faith, I mean, there's nothing, they're not looking forward to anything because they think once they're dead, that's it. So it makes sense. Anna, concierge member. Anna gets a private line to me, and I will help Anna if anything befalls her. I'm praying for divine intervention at this time in history. May God help our country. Well, that's good. We need divine intervention, and we've gotten it here in America a lot. So hopefully we'll get it again. Joanne, concierge member. Joanne is under my protection as well. Enjoyed the photo gallery. Thank you for sharing. Oh, I am a sharing kind of guy. We have, I don't know, about 20 pictures of me all over the world on BillO'Reilly.com. It's free. You don't have to be a member of anything. Good shots. You want to check it out. Rod, Bill, great photos. Love the international travel. We lived overseas in Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and South Africa for 11 years. I've only made it to 75 countries. Well, Rod, you're way ahead of 95% of the Earth's population. I'm at 86, soon to be 87 because I'm going to Malta, where I have not been. But travel is the way to learn, no doubt about it. John Messersmith, Queensland, Australia. Bill, having read with interest Killing Crazy Horse and the 1868 election, Republican President Grant just received a minority of white votes. However, the deciding factor was black votes cast in his favor. Wondering when the black majority vote shifted to the Democratic Party. So rightly, you know more about the USA, John, than probably most Americans do. So Grant was a Republican. And he won the election, as John pointed out, because the new black voters all went to Grant because Grant freed them as the primary general in the Civil War. The shift from black voters from Republican voting to Democrat voting was gradual. And it happened in the early 20th century when Southern agrarian blacks migrated to big cities in the North, Detroit, New York, those cities, Washington, D.C. And the Democratic Party shifted its anti-black. The Democratic Party was anti-black up until about 1900. Shifted into a more benevolent, liberal point of view. But it was gradual. And under FDR, that's when it exploded. When Roosevelt started giving out the entitlements, boom, 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 boom. Okay. So I'm going to tell you about confronting the presidents in a moment in the final thought because it's President's Day, and I'm going to give you a little preview here. But you can pre-order Confronting the Presidents on BillO'Reilly.com. We will not bill you until we ship the book to you, which will be in late August. Book comes out officially September 10th. Okay? And if you read this book, you will learn more about your country in one book than you have known your entire life. And I'm going to back that up. We'll also have a very special today, President's Day special, Killing Kennedy, the United States of Trump, and a no-spin mug for $59.95. So stock up on gifts. If you haven't read those two books, you'll like them. But this is a good deal. And Tuesday midnight it stops, so you got to get it in now. Killing Crazy Horse we got for $12.95. That's a real special offer. And the word of the day, do not be supercilious. One word, S-U-P-E-R, supercilious, C-I-L-I-O-U-S. I use that word to confuse my adversaries. All right, back with the final thought on President's Day. True or false, using your tax refund to pay off credit card debt is smart. False. donewithdebt.com published a brilliant survey designed to let you keep your hard-earned tax refund and reduce or eliminate credit card debt. Done with Debt found that filing bankruptcy is usually not the answer, and taking out loans to pay off credit cards usually increases debt. When you engage Done with Debt, their legal experts and skilled negotiators take on the credit card companies for you. Their winning strategies are designed with one goal: solve your debt situation quickly and permanently. So first things first, chat with a Done with Debt strategist, explore your options. Some debt fighting strategies are time sensitive, so you'll need to move quickly. For a free consultation, please visit donewithdebt.com. That's donewithdebt.com. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation supports America's greatest heroes, U.S. service members, and first responders who gave their lives, those catastrophically injured in the line of duty, and homeless vets. The Foundation's Gold Star Fallen First Responder and Homeless Vet programs honor the sacrifices made by men who fought and died for us, and women who risked their lives for our country as well. The Foundation's Never Forget program engages people in 9/11 remembrances across America with more than 80 runs, walks, and dozens of golf outings every year. The Tunnel to Towers 9/11 Institute educates kids from kindergarten through 12th grade about America's darkest day, while helping our nation keep its vow to never forget. So please support Tunnel to Towers. Donate $11 a month. Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. More than 95 cents of every dollar you donate to Tunnel to Towers goes to its programs. That's T, the number 2, another T.org. Okay, let's go to the final thought. President's Day federal holiday, Lincoln, Washington. Okay. As I mentioned, confronting the presidents, no-spin assessments from Washington to Biden. In this book, we tell you who these men are or were. Okay, all of them, all 45 of them, and whether they helped or hurt the country, one or the other. And it's no spin. I don't care what the party is. But just, I'm editing it now. We finished writing it. Editing is so laborious, I can't even tell you. But I'll give you a couple of headlines. George Washington's mother didn't like him. Where do you see this? All right. Thomas Jefferson, not a good guy. Not smart guy, not a good guy. Okay. Abraham Lincoln contemplated suicide. Seriously. Okay? Edith Wilson, Woodrow's wife, ran the country for 18 months. Nobody knew. And then we have special, at the end of it, assessments of Trump and Biden. Now, Martin Dugard and I, he's the co-author, we see it differently on Trump and Biden. So we got that. And you can see who's a better argument, Dugard or me, on both men. So you're going to love this book. I think this is going to be an enormous bestseller. It is longer than the usual Killing books. Starts our Confronting series. So I wish it was almost September now so we could have this book out and we could be discussing it. You'll like it a lot. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News on this President's Day. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.